it's my enormous pleasure indeed to welcome all of you to these wonderful surroundings of the Shangri-La Hotel in this magnificent and exciting city of Shanghai. It really is a great pleasure to be here to open this first in China. In Oxford University, we are committed to the belief that academics have a genuine responsibility to share their work with a wider audience. So often we bury ourselves in our labs or our workshops or in our studies and think it's enough that we've written a paper that will be read by 20 or 30 academic colleagues. Yet, if an idea is not worth explaining to the wider public, then it is difficult to know what that idea is really for. This is an ideal of the Oxford Lecture Series, that we share the best and the most important research and work that the University of Oxford has to offer. Now, China has a long tradition of placing academic excellence at the heart of government. For 1,000 years, China held official examinations to enter the bureaucracy, and Britain took those examinations as an example for its own civil service. And of course, the record of scholarly achievement in China in areas of technology, in literature, and in philosophy are at the heart of its civilization. Now, Oxford's relationship with China goes back at least 400 years, when the founder of Oxford's famous Bodleian Library brought to Oxford the first collection of Chinese texts. That was in 1604, at a time when no one in Oxford could read Chinese or even knew which way round to hold the books. But those became the basis of one of the finest collections of Chinese literature in the world outside of China. Now, in 2013, Oxford's links with China are deep and significant. More than 800 students are currently studying in Oxford. 800 students from China are studying in Oxford. That is the second largest group of international students after the United States. And those Chinese students study in Oxford with the support of a number of academic scholarships. And let me highlight specifically a newly established scholarship for Chinese students to come to study in Oxford that has been established by the Kaifeng Foundation in Beijing. Oxford's medical researchers are partnering with Chinese hospitals and other research institutions to conduct some of the world's largest studies of major diseases like heart disease and cancer. In Oxford, the new China Centre, the Oxford China Centre, is home to the largest group of academic specialists studying China, the largest group anywhere in Europe. And Oxford continues to explore new collaborations and constructive dialogue with Chinese universities, government, and business. Now, this leads me to tonight's talk. Our distinguished speaker tonight is Professor Steve Rayner. He is the James Martin Professor of Science and Civilization at the University of Oxford and is co-director of the Oxford Martin Programme for Future Cities. The Oxford Martin School is a unique part of Oxford University that addresses major problems that face humanity in the 21st century and that cannot be dealt with within one single academic discipline. And it is an example of some of the cross-cutting thought that I know will be on display in tonight's lecture. Professor Rayner will apply thought and research from science and history, from anthropology and meteorology, to answer the question, the very, very important question: what can cities offer us in meeting the challenges that we face in the 21st century? Throughout the lecture, we will be accepting questions from the audience for Professor Rayner and for our panel of distinguished experts who will be joining us after the lecture. Now, the questions can be delivered by email, and the email address to write to is up on the screen, or soon will be up on the screen. There we are. Instantaneous information, the modern world. And so please email questions that come to you during the lecture, and then they will be addressed by Professor Rayner and the panel in the after lecture discussion. I'm very pleased that we have with us this evening Ms. Liu Hainang, and she will introduce our outstanding panel later. Now, Ms. Liu Hainang's experience stretches from the United Kingdom to Shanghai. Some people here will recognize her through her television presenting for CCTV News. And in recent months, she has also been working for the BBC. What is less well known is that she was among the very first graduates of the Masters of Public Policy programme at Oxford's new Blavatnik School of Government. And so we are delighted that she is with us here this evening. After this evening's panel discussion, I invite you all to stay for conversation, for a reception that will be in the foyer outside. It'll be a chance for you to meet and talk to Professor Rayner, and also to converse with the panel members. So with these formalities over, it's an enormous pleasure for me to warmly welcome and to ask you to welcome this evening's speaker, Professor Steve Rayner. Steve.